faculty and staff procession is led by the Faculty Marshal, Dr. Takashi Yamashita, recipient of the 2025 Presidential Research Professor Award. He is followed by Staff Marshals, Amy Barnes, recipient of the 2025 Presidential Distinguished Exempt Staff Award, and Farzana Islam, recipient of the 2025 Presidential Distinguished Non-Exempt Staff Award. The Faculty Marshal is carrying a baton that the UMBC Alumni Association gave to the university in honor of our 40th anniversary in 2006. The platform party is led by the Grand Marshal, Dr. Nancy Kuzmal, President of the Faculty Senate and Professor in Social Work. She is joined by Dr. E.F. Charles LaBerge, Students Marshal, the 2025 Presidential Teaching Award recipient, and Professor of the Practice in the Department of Computer Science and Electrical Engineering.
On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, welcome to UMBC's 2025 Convocation. Please remain standing for the national anthem, performed by Kylie Carter, a senior pursuing a double degree in musical performance and biological sciences. Kylie is honored to represent the music department today. Her performance will be accompanied by a presentation of the colors by UMBC's Naval ROTC program. Please remain standing throughout the anthem and until the colors have retired.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Kylie. That was a wonderful rendition. And thank you to the students in NROTC and the members of our brass quintet who provided our processional music. Everyone, please be seated. As we welcome you to UMBC, we wish to acknowledge that UMBC was established upon the land of the Piscataway and Susquehannock peoples. Over time, citizens of many more indigenous nations have come to reside in this region. We humbly offer our respect to all past, present, and future indigenous people connected to this place. Welcome, Retrievers. My name is Nancy Kussmaul, and I'm a professor in the School of Social Work. Before I became a professor, I was a nursing home social worker. As a scholar, my research focuses on quality of life and quality of care in nursing homes and assisted livings, often called long-term care. And as a professor, I train undergraduates to become social workers. I have been a proud member of the UMBC community since 2014, and I currently have the honor of serving as UMBC's Faculty Senate President, a role that also serves as the Grand Marshal of official university ceremonies, such as commencement and convocation, the event that brings us here today. I imagine that for many of you, this is the first convocation that you've attended, and it may all seem quite mysterious, with many of us in robes and funny hats. There is a history and a meaning behind all of these symbols of academia, and my colleagues and I want to help demystify things as we welcome you to UMBC. So here's your first class, a little Convocation 101 for you. Throughout academia, which is the word we use to describe the wide-ranging community of colleges and universities that pursue research, education, and scholarship, Convocation is the ceremony that marks the official start of the academic year. It is steeped in traditions and symbols, including the caps and gowns or regalia that many of us are wearing. The origins of academic dress date back to the 12th and 13th centuries and take their cue from monks' robes. Originally, the robes served mainly to keep people warm in unheated buildings. But over time, the garb took on a more formal role, and in the late 19th century, the practice of assigning colors to signify certain disciplines was standardized in the United States. So today, the style, color, and length of the robe and the hood serve to distinguish the academic degree the wearer has earned and the institution that awarded it. For example, I hold a PhD in social welfare from the University of Buffalo. Buffalo's doctoral gown is black with blue chevrons, and my hood has yellow for social work. A couple of other details I'll share. First, you may have noticed the fancy-looking staff I carried in the procession. That is a type of ceremonial mace. The use of a mace to symbolize rank and authority goes back as far as the late Stone Age in the ancient Near East. Today, they are used all over the world in formal, parliamentary, and academic occasions. UMBC's ceremonial mace was crafted by local artist Charles Strauss and was commissioned by the Alumni Association and presented to the university at commencement in 1986, 20 years after UMBC's founding. University presidents tend to wear ornate presidential insignia at formal academic events like convocation. UMBC's insignia, worn today by President Valerie Shears Ashby, is symbolic of the weight and responsibility of the president's role. For me, all of these symbols and traditions convey the solemn importance of the academic mission we pursue and the responsibilities that we, as members of this scholarly community, hold to pursue truth, advance knowledge, and serve society. It is a community to which we warmly welcome you today. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Manfred Van Dolman.
Good afternoon, students, faculty, and staff. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you to the beginning of a new academic year at UMBC. To our returning students, faculty, and staff, welcome back. And to our new students and colleagues, welcome home. You belong here. Before I get into my remarks, you may wonder what a provost is and what a provost does. Well, the provost is the chief academic officer overseeing the academic mission, ensuring excellence across all your academic programs, colleges, and schools. I work closely with faculty, deans, and other academic leaders to shape the university's academic strategy, support student success, and uphold the highest standards of academic integrity. In other words, it's my responsibility to make sure you have an excellent academic experience at UMBC. No pressure. Now back to why you are here today. The beginning of your academic journey at UMBC, Convocation. Convocation is a moment of celebration, but also of reflection. It reminds us of the core values that define our academic community: a commitment to curiosity, a pursuit of knowledge and truth, and a promise to lift one another as we climb. At UMBC, we recognize that talent is found in every background, across every identity, and in every lived experience. Our responsibility as students, scholars, and educators, and leaders is to create spaces where this talent can be seen, supported, elevated, and celebrated. For me, recognizing your talent and making sure as your chief academic officer that you can succeed at UMBC is personal. I grew up in the Netherlands, and I'm a first-generation student. My parents never had the ability in their teens to go to college, not because of their lack of ability, but because at the time determinations about continuing education were based on your parents' ability, their economic resources, not your ability or talent. As parents, they wanted to make sure I would not face any barriers, and without them and their commitment, I would not be standing in front of you today. And as we mark the next step in your educational journey, I ask you, and I want to encourage you to reflect on the family, friends, and mentors that have supported you along the way. Please give a round of applause for all the people who've helped you on your educational journey. Let us begin this year with a shared commitment to not only ask big questions, but to ensure that everyone has a seat at the table when those questions are explored. That's what makes a university great, not just what we know, but who we are and how we become together. On behalf of all Retrievers, I thank you for your passion, your dedication, and your belief in the power of education to change lives. Welcome to a new year of possibility, purpose, and progress, and welcome to UMBC, and go Retrievers. Now I want to turn to some key people you need to get to know, your deans. Deans are senior academic officers who oversee core academic units on campus. They're vital in ensuring your academic success and that your academic programs are the best they can be. Please join me in welcoming the first of these deans, John Stoll McAllister, the Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences.
Good afternoon, New Retrievers. All right, you've learned a couple things already. My name is John Stoll McAllister. I'm the Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And I started here at UMBC exactly 25 years ago today. It was my first day at UMBC. And I haven't looked back. It's been an amazing time here. I conduct research and teach about social justice, indigenous rights, and environmental movements in Latin America. And my favorite class to teach is World Language Communities, where we explore some of the ways in which multilingual communities figure out how to communicate and live across linguistic and cultural barriers and differences. My college has 25 departments and programs, offering over 31 distinct majors and over 55 minors and certificates. So there's a lot you can do here. In our college, we study, think about, and act on all those things that make us who we are. We want to better understand how we feel and think, how we build and maintain communities, how we express ourselves, and how we relate to people who are different than we are. Among many other things, you can major in dance, theater, emergency disaster and health systems, philosophy, political science, and public health. No matter what your major, you can also minor in areas like accounting, security studies, GIS, public history, and critical disability studies. Our biggest departments are psychology, economics, and visual arts. Our 300 faculty members, more than 300 faculty members, are scholars, teachers. They're experts in their fields, writing books, performing, and working directly with communities, both here in Baltimore and around the world. Faculty projects examine urban forests here in Baltimore, work with local communities to tell their stories, help make connections between immigrant groups and nonprofit organizations, partner with educators in the Baltimore area schools to develop programs to better serve their students, and stage performances and installations on campus and throughout the area and really throughout the world. You can get involved with your faculty on their research projects, ask them about that. You can take an international seminar with them on one of the breaks, and the college offers scholarships to help you get there. So, on behalf of the college and the faculty and staff of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, welcome to UMBC. And it's my pleasure now to introduce you to Dr. Bill LaCourse, the Dean of the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences.
Thank you, John. I've been at UMBC going on 34 years, and now with 14 as dean, 4 as a department chair, and all of them as a professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. My path to UMBC was not traditional. It started with an associate's degree in chemical engineering technology. Yes, I was a transfer student. I completed my bachelor's degree in chemistry from Charter Oak College. There's one many people have heard of, while working full-time at a pharmaceutical company. Subsequently, I received my PhD in analytical chemistry from Northeastern University, followed by a postdoctoral fellowship at Iowa State University in electroanalytical chemistry before coming to UMBC. My colleagues and I are driven to provide students with a less challenging path to achieve their goals and avoid some of the mistakes I made as a first-generation student. The College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences, or CNMS, offers programs in biological sciences, chemistry and biochemistry, mathematics and statistics, physics, marine biotechnology, applied biotechnology, and naval and military sciences to support the UMBC ROTC programs. 142 instructional faculty and 65 staff provide a rigorous curriculum and the support a student may need to be successful in their major. Since the college provides critical foundational courses to many departments across the university, most students, and many of you, will take one or more courses in CNMS. I encourage you to take advantage of the Learning Collaboratory, which is a dedicated space that aims to help students successfully pursue a STEM career by offering specialized programming that aims to help students successfully pursue a STEM career by offering programming to cultivate academic and professional skills. From workshops to study hall socials, we bring the campus to you. In CNMS, we firmly believe that it takes a scientist to train a scientist. And faculty researchers in the college are listed among the world's top 2% of the most cited scientists. Importantly, not only do they do world-class research, but at UMBC, they also choose to teach and mentor the next generation of scientists, leaders, and future colleagues. So come join us, perhaps in developing a next satellite for a satellite mission to study the Earth, or finding the root cause of a disease and how to attack it, or saving the oceans through sustainable agriculture. Together, let us explore and create the unknown and create a better world for everyone. So on behalf of the College of Mathematical Science, its faculty, staff, welcome to UMBC. If you get a chance, stop by the college's open house in UC 116 on September 2nd. There'll be cupcakes, so all are welcome. It is my pleasure to introduce Jean Van Briesen, Dean of the College of Engineering and Information Technology.
Welcome, Retrievers. I'm excited to welcome you all this year, and particularly our future engineers, our future computer scientists, our future information scientists. We're very happy that you are joining us, especially to begin your careers contributing to these critical fields. We know you will truly change the world. No pressure. I am Jean Van Briesen, the Dean of the College of Engineering and Information Technology, and like you, I am new to UMBC. My journey here began just this past July 1st. I have been warmly welcomed, as I know you will be. I had a winding path to my current role. I started college knowing that I loved science and math, but not much else. I tried out chemistry and chemical engineering and biomedical engineering, and finally I graduated with a degree in education. I loved and I still love teaching. Magical things happen in the classroom. I would probably still be a high school chemistry and physics teacher, except I was laid off. And after that, I decided I would go back to graduate school, and I fell in love there with research, almost as much as I love teaching. When I graduated with my doctorate, I realized that this, the career I am in, is the only place where you can combine those two loves. Becoming a professor allows me to do both of those, teach and do research. In my new role as dean, I'm privileged to work with hundreds of faculty and staff, supporting more than 4,500 undergraduates and 1,300 graduate students in the college. This fall, we are welcoming you all, more than 1,200 new undergraduates and almost 300 new graduate students. We have 4 departments: chemical, biochemical, and environmental engineering, computer science and electrical engineering, information systems, and mechanical engineering. Within these departments, we have 6 majors and 4 minors, and our largest academic majors are computer science and information systems. Like me, our faculty are engaged in teaching and research, and they link those 2 activities through mentoring students. I'm particularly excited about our COET interdisciplinary projects, where for the 2nd year, we've supported teams to address questions that require multiple perspectives and tools from different disciplines in engineering and information technology. We also had a very successful summer student research program that just concluded. Again, on behalf of the College of Engineering and Information Technology, welcome to UMBC. It is my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the Erickson School of Aging Studies, Dean Dana Byrne Bradley.
Dr. Van Briesen, thank you so much for your introduction. This is a moment that I want to take all of us to just take in, right? We've got new leadership on stage, and a wonderful way that we as leadership look to you for inspiration. So I joined UMBC as Dean of the Erickson School of Aging Studies in 2018. That was a little bit a while ago. I started so much like you, with passions and interests that didn't seem to fit to where we put that, right? I was I was 18, 19, 20, and I couldn't find the major, the minor, the thing that worked for me. Way back almost a few decades ago, right? And so I found my way. I majored in history, biology. I studied at the Eastman School of Music. I was a performance major. And that gave me this passion, this place to accept people where they are, whether they're in the community, our students, that I didn't have one skill set, I had many. Unlike, well, not really unlike many of you in the audience, right? Our students. Okay, so I did that, got my, my degree. I went on to Carnegie Mellon. I'm gonna do this, right? The tartan, right? Look at that. And I studied applied science, history, and then went on to work with policy wonks, philanthropists, and foundations, because that was what was presented to me at the time. And I found my calling. So it took me a while. I'm okay with that. It took me a while to find my calling with working with amazing faculty and students looking at aging. So the Erickson School, you're looking, why am I here, right? The Erickson School of Aging Studies is one of 3 schools of aging in the US. We offer a major and 3 minors, because we do that, plus an accelerated master's. You guys are thinking about that now, right? Right? And a number of other programs, and as well as a traditional master's and 3 graduate certificates. So overall, we look at the science of aging, policy, and the business in a way that's unique to UMBC. Our 28 faculty are scholar practitioners and are experienced professionals with extensive connectors to industry, that's jobs, right? Industry, government, still jobs, and advocacy organizations. We're deeply committed to working with you, like all of you, right? In the classroom, community, and workplace to help you succeed. As you know, right, so I want to take you just to a moment to think about this. So just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Oh, so exciting. Close your eyes. Think about someone in your family, your workplace, that's a different age than you are. Just do that for me. So, thank you, right? Right? So we're deeply, now you can open your eyes. Got that in your, we're deeply committed to helping you and your circle of friends, those people you just thought about, family, friends that are living longer. This demographic shift, right? So that's statistics, but it's true. You just confirmed it when you closed your eyes and thought about someone older than you, right? It's creating unlimited opportunities and needs for talented multi-generational workforce. That's you. In this new global longevity economy. So much, in fact, that virtually, and I'm going to say this, majority of you will all take a class in aging before you graduate. No other university can say that. I'm excited to share that the first thing that we're really proud of moving forward in this year is our new Center for Community Innovation Aging. That's the CIA, that works with Governor Wes Moore to support Longevity Ready Maryland, the visionary plan that he has and his team and the state of Maryland has to support a growing population of older adults while fostering collaboration, equity, and inclusivity, our UMBC values. The CIA, is a transformative hub for applied research and innovation in three main areas of our focus: community engagement, our Institute for Financial Gerontology, and intergenerational arts and theory and practice. So my last plug, because I have 30 seconds on stage, is to invite you next Wednesday to our open house to learn more about our work and our scholarships. All right, so now I look forward to inviting Dr. Shelley Wiechert, who is our established, amazing, informative leader of the School of Social Work.
Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Shelley Wiechert, and I am Associate Dean and Chair of the Social Work Program here at UMBC. And I am so excited to be here with you today as you begin your journey at UMBC. It's an exciting place to be. Our students really grow, and I look out and see you, and it makes me kind of happy. So I'm glad to be here with you, and I'll try not to talk too long because you want to go out and eat your food, I'm sure. But I think one thing that I want to share with you is, first and foremost, I am a social worker. And I practice social work. I got an MSW from West Virginia University in 1985. And I practiced social work for 10, 11 years before going to get my PhD. And I worked in the community. I worked in the rural community in West Virginia, in settlement houses and neighborhood houses, going out to the farms and small towns and meeting with children and families. Worked in programs for people who were unhoused. Worked with people with mental health problems and substance use problems. And then I moved back to my hometown of Pittsburgh. Go Steelers. Yeah, anybody with me on that? I had to take a shot, right? So I moved back to Pittsburgh, and I worked in an inpatient psychiatric unit and had a private practice. And I thought, you know, I can help more people if I teach others how to do social work. And I also realized that there was a lot of stuff that people weren't talking about that wasn't in the books. They needed somebody who had done it to research about it. And there were others, and as I worked on my PhD, I came to know many others who had done the work and researched on it and wrote about it and taught about it, and they became my mentors and people who modeled for me how to be. And so I earned my PhD in social work from the University of Pittsburgh, and I conducted research on the intersections of trauma and substance use, mostly with women, also in diverse populations like urban American Indians, like women in Korea. And so I try to bring that work, my social work experience, my knowledge, my research to my classroom when I teach students, and to things like this when I talk to people. And anything I do in the world, I try to bring my knowledge and experience as a social worker. So I've been here at UMBC 19 years, and I'm very proud to be a part of UMBC that champions inclusion and champions justice. So let me tell you a little bit about our school. we are a little bit complicated because we have our undergraduate program is offered here at this campus and at our campus at Shady Grove. Students earn a Bachelor of Arts degree in social work. We work in collaboration with the UMB School of Social Work, which is in downtown Baltimore City, and that's where the Masters of Social Work, the PhD, and the Doctor of Social Work are offered. One of the exciting things about a social work degree is students who have a BSW, a pretty good GPA, usually a 3.0 or higher, and a strong reference from their field instructor, which I'll tell you about in a minute, are eligible to apply for advanced standing. And if you get advanced standing, that means part of your baccalaureate work counts towards your master's degree. So those students get done faster in graduate school. So it's the exciting thing about social work. And it's not just at our MSW program downtown. Advanced standing is at schools of social work throughout the country. So that's something to think about if you're thinking about a social work major. Our faculty, we have 15 faculty who also have a wide range of practice experience that they bring to their classroom, and they bring to their research, and they bring to their environment. The kinds of work our faculty do are in addictions, mental health, intimate partner violence, aging, fatherhood, child welfare, education, social policy analysis, risk and resilience, and so on. They're all the exciting, cutting-edge areas of knowledge that help people. And our faculty really work to bring that to our students. We have faculty who mentor students in developing research projects on their own that those students may write up and present at our undergraduate research event here. We have had faculty who have mentored students to write papers for national journals and national presentations. So our faculty are excited to work with students to mentor them and to offer them academic advising to help them plan their educational career here at UMBC, and also to provide professional mentorship where students can plan their goals, what they want to be when they get out of here, what do they want to do as a professional. And our faculty helps students sort that. Our faculty provide our students with a great deal of support for research, education, personal growth. We're there for you. And finally, I just want to tell you the one thing that our students most love and most fear, and that is field placement. Our students do a field placement during their senior year where they go into community agencies like hospitals, prisons, shelters for people who are unhoused, places for people who are seeking refuge, child welfare agencies. They do a field placement 2 days a week under mentored supervision from a community social worker who's licensed and vetted by us with support from a faculty member. So those students get to practice what they've learned in the classroom in the real world with support from professionals and from a social work faculty member that they know, and they get to talk about that in their field seminar. So they really grow and develop and get a chance to practice their skills, and by the time they're done, they know what they're doing. So our students can practice as bachelor-level social workers, they can get licensed and practice as bachelor-level social workers, or they can go on for a master's degree in social work. And our students tell us they are well prepared, and our students are very successful. So we are very proud of our School of Social Work. We are very proud of UMBC, and we welcome you to UMBC. On behalf of the School of Social Work, I welcome you. Thank you. And I have the pleasure of introducing our president, Dr. Valerie Shears Ashby.
Good afternoon. I don't know about you, but I want to go back to college, and I just want to take all the courses and have the experiences that I just heard. My faculty and staff who are sitting in front of me, let me just say thank you, because our deans are talking about the work that you do. And so let's give our faculty and staff a round of applause. Good afternoon again, UMBC. Welcome to all of our new community members. That includes our incoming undergraduate and graduate students. new faculty, and staff members. We are delighted that you have joined this amazing community, and what we know is that your presence is going to make us even better. Can you imagine even better than what you just heard? Your presence is going to make us even better. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Dr. E.F. Charles LaBerge, recipient of the UMBC Presidential Teaching Award for 2025-2028. And he is also professor of the practice of computer science and electrical engineering. Not yet, Charles, not yet, not yet. You can stand if you want to. You can stand if you would like. I have some more words to say about you. He is a legendary teacher and mentor at UMBC, having been previously recognized for teaching excellence by the College of Engineering and Information Technology and by the University System of Maryland. In 2023, he received the Outstanding Faculty Award from the UMBC Alumni Association. Professor LaBerge is dedicated to students, to innovative teaching, and to UMBC, where, get this, he earned his PhD here in electrical engineering. Join me in welcoming Professor Charles LaBerge.
Thanks so much, Dr. Shears Ashby. Yes, I am Chuck LaBerge, professor of the practice of computer science and electrical engineering. And it's really a privilege to address you as this year's presidential teaching professor. I've been thinking a little about the single most important piece of advice I could give to first-year students. So are you ready? Here it is. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Really, don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's the way we learn. Now, I had a chance to observe this in detail earlier this year during the 3 months when my son and his family, including Ellie, aged 4, and Penny, aged 2, moved into our house and lived with us as they were moving back to Baltimore. You know, toddlers ask a lot of questions. Why this? Why that? Why? They're busy filling their developing brains with information. And actually, you're in a similar situation. Your brain's more stable than Ellie's, but it's still growing. And over the next 4 years, you are going to soak up a lot of information. Our job's to help, but we can't do our job, by us I mean the faculty. We can't do our job if you're not willing to act like 3-year-olds and ask questions. For most of the last 34 semesters, I've taught ENES 101, which is Intro to Engineering, and I see the same thing over and over again. I'll be talking along on some subject, and I'll say, are there any questions? And what I get is crickets. I know what's going on. You're sitting there, and you're thinking, I have no idea at all what he's talking about. But you're also thinking, no one else is raising their hand. I must not be smart enough. No one else has this question, or I don't want to waste this time with my silly question. I know this is exactly what's going through your head. Why? Because I can kind of see it scrolling across your eyeballs. Don't understand, won't ask. So let's look at the objections. You're certainly smart enough. After all, UMBC admitted you. You're certainly not the only one who didn't understand. I assure you that whatever course it happens to be, there are others that are having the same internal struggle that you are. Learning new things is hard. And there's always questions. So don't be afraid to ask. Speaking for my colleagues, you're definitely not wasting our time when you ask us questions. We all want you to ask questions for the simple reason that we love our content and we want to share it so that you love it too. Don't be afraid to ask questions. President Emeritus Dr. Freeman Hrabowski always told a story about I.I. Robbie. When Robbie was a boy and would come home from school, his mom would ask him, "Izzy, did you ask a good question today?" And so Robbie was encouraged to ask questions. And we know for a fact that he asked questions throughout high school, throughout college, throughout his graduate studies, and into his research career. And we know that he asked questions because he won the 1944 Nobel Prize in Physics. Now, I have a disclaimer. The legal department contacted me when they read this and said, you have to have a disclaimer. UMBC does not guarantee that if you ask questions in class, you will certainly win a Nobel Prize. But I can confidently say that if you don't ask questions in class, that will assure that you do not win a Nobel Prize. We all learn by asking questions, just like the toddlers in my house. So don't be afraid to ask your questions. I will see about 300 of you on Friday at 11 a.m. in ENES 101. I particularly look forward to answering your questions. Welcome to UMBC. Go Retrievers.
Let's give Professor LaBerge another round of applause. That was fantastic. I love chemistry, and you almost had me at being a chemical engineer. And I thought, oh, maybe I can do this. A computer scientist, electrical engineer, I can do this. Thank you so very much. I hope you will take that message, simple as it is, to heart. And so welcome again. I have had the privilege of serving as UMBC's 6th president since 2022. I came to this role from a deanship at Duke University, but I spent the majority of my career as a faculty member and administrator at public universities, including my alma mater, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where I was a professor and chair of the chemistry department. To our new students, I remember how I felt sitting where you are now. As a new student, I went to UNC's convocation thinking it was just one more thing that we were required to do as a part of orientation. No one told me what convocation actually was. And I remember sitting there in the basketball arena feeling so lost and overwhelmed. There were a bunch of official people wearing official-looking caps and gowns. They said official-sounding words, but I did not get it. And it made me feel like maybe I did not belong there, and maybe I would not fit in. So I want you to know that we want you to make sure that you do not leave here today feeling that way. Quite the opposite. I want you to know that you have come to an institution that wants you here and that is sure that you belong and that you can be successful, even if you're not sure yourself yet. And you should know, we see great things for all of you. Maybe not a Nobel Prize, but we see great things, maybe a Nobel Prize. Yeah, maybe a Nobel Prize. I like that version better, maybe a Nobel Prize. UMBC has built a reputation as a public-serving research powerhouse that takes a particular view on excellence. Here we believe that excellence comes not by excluding all but a select few, but rather excellence requires inclusion. We believe we cannot be excellent in conducting research, in educating a citizenry, or serving our communities without being inclusive. It is not enough just to provide seats at the table and spots in a classroom. We believe equally that it is our responsibility to strive to remove any systemic barriers to success, to create environments that foster respect and belonging, and to provide the support and the conditions such that all students know that we not only considered them, but that we were expecting them. A few years ago, this community created a new vision statement for UMBC. It is so inspiring and so fundamentally who we are and what we believe that I just had to share it with you today. So here's our vision. Just listen to the words. Our UMBC community redefines excellence in higher education through an inclusive culture that connects innovative teaching and learning, research across disciplines, and civic engagement. We will advance knowledge, economic prosperity, and social justice by welcoming and inspiring inquisitive minds from all backgrounds. That's awesome. You can clap for that. I did not write that. This community did, well before I came here. From the first moment I read it, I knew that UMBC was the place for me. I knew that UMBC shared my values, and I knew that we would be able to achieve great things together. Now, that vision statement was bold back then. But today, given all that is going on in our nation and our world, that ambition to strive to redefine excellence in higher education through an inclusive culture may seem extraordinary, if not impossible. What I know is that we do not do this work only when it is easy. It is even more important in times of challenge that we know who we are and what we believe, and that we stand up for our right, for what we believe and our values. Our definition, which we believe is the only definition of excellence, is inclusive. It is just that simple. And that is what brings together this wonderfully diverse incoming class that I see before me today. By the way, did you all know that you are the largest incoming class of undergraduates in UMBC's history? You were selected, and I just need you to hear that. You were selected from a very large undergraduate applicant pool of nearly 15,000 students. We had an unprecedented wait list of more than 1,600 students. And this class has significantly more first-year, first-time undergraduates, transfer students, and students from Baltimore City than last year's cohort. And to our wonderful graduate students, we are so honored to have you join us at the master's and doctoral levels across many disciplines, and we look forward to the advances and discoveries you will lead in this next phase of your academic journey. This is a truly beautiful class. You have come here from all backgrounds. Some of you are the first in your families to go to college, and some of you are the children or siblings or family members of UMBC graduates. You hail from every corner of Maryland, from all parts of the country, and from all around the world, and you are passionate about history and global studies and public policy and music and the arts and cybersecurity and AI and engineering and mathematics, have I called yours yet? And environmental science and writing and teaching and so much more. You have been active in your communities and committed to your coursework, and you have demonstrated a belief that education is a powerful engine of opportunity and positive change. I am confident, I am truly confident, that you will seize this new opportunity and make the most of your time here at UMBC. Welcome to all of you who are joining this amazing community of inquisitive minds, and welcome everyone to the start of another academic year. Thank you. Thank you. Provost Van Doelman, would you please join me at the podium for the class presentation?
President Shears-Ashby, on behalf of the faculty and staff, it is my pleasure to present to you the incoming class of undergraduate and graduate students. The faculty and staff of the university are committed to supporting them throughout their academic journey at UMBC and beyond. We look forward to presenting them to you again at their commencement ceremony.
So I want you to know how excited that we are that you are joining this wonderful community. I'm going to ask, come back for me, Provost Van Doelman. I'm going to ask our faculty and staff throughout the building, students who remain seated, I'm going to ask our faculty, staff, and administrators throughout the building to stand up and join me in congratulating and welcoming this incoming class of Retrievers. You're going to appreciate that moment because it's going to be replicated at your commencement. So I hope that you remember this beginning. And now I would like to invite Eli Gendelman, President of UMBC Student Government Association, to offer greetings and share one more UMBC tradition before we close today's ceremony. Eli.
Thank you, Dr. Ashby.
We could clap for Eli. He is the president of this.
Thank you to whoever said that. Good afternoon. My name is Eli Gendelman, and I'm a political science major at UMBC. I'm also your SGA president. It is my sincere pleasure to welcome all of you to UMBC today. I hope you all feel the warmth of our welcome. You are joining an incredible community of students, faculty, staff, and alumni who care deeply about you and your journey. Joining this community is a privilege and a responsibility. And to signify that, you were given a pin today when you entered the arena. The pin is a small but meaningful token of the values that unite us. On one side of the card, you will see a student community commitment statement, which I hope you will read and take to heart. It asks you to respect, honor, and care for your UMBC and all of its members. On the other side of the card, you will find the words of our alma mater. You might ask, what is an alma mater? Well, the words alma mater are Latin, of course meaning nurturing mother. Universities began using that phrase as an allegory in the 17th century. Today, alma mater can refer to the school a person attended or graduated. It may also be the school's official song or hymn, often sung at academic and athletic events. UMBC's alma mater debuted in 2006 with the conjunction of the 40th anniversary. The lyrics and arrangement were written by Jan Villanueva, who is the founding director of UMBC's pep band. Following a tradition of setting university alma maters to hymns, he chose the tune of American Hymn by Matthias Keller. Now, we're going to sing it, but we will need some help. The UMBC Jubilee Singers, conducted by Janice Jackson, director of UMBC's Jubilee and Gospel Choir, will sing it first, and then we will all sing it together. All who are able, please stand to sing our alma mater. After the alma mater, we ask that you remain at your seats. Convocation will be concluded shortly. You can all stand.
Hail, alma mater, are you
That was your lesson, and now we're going to sing it together. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That was your lesson, and now we're going to sing it together. Janice, you ready? You've got it? I hear you, faculty. We've got this. Okay, I'm not standing in the mic because I cannot sing. I love it.
Go crazy.
Thank you, Jubilee Singers, and welcome, new Retrievers. Continue to be the gifted and amazing people you are. Follow your passions, be true to yourself, dream big, and welcome to the amazing community we call UMBC. Following the conclusion of today's ceremony, you are invited to celebrate the start of the academic year by attending the free community cookout on the quad. As you exit the building, please follow the parade to dinner. This concludes the 2025 convocation ceremony. Please remain in place until the platform party and the faculty and staff have recessed. On behalf of the UMBC community, I wish you congratulations and welcome.
Don't have no master suite, but I'm still the king